local business that wants public funding has used at least 1% of that funding to beautify the area. There's a lot of different examples for that. I believe that was for the Marriott Hotel back in 1995. Hard Rock Cafe is over here to the left. Yeah. As the old headquarters of the train station, it's no longer the headquarters, so it's no longer a train station either. We put the Hard Rock Cafe here for American Bandstand. They had a bandstand filmed on this intersection. That was what it became, American Bandstand. So it's no longer bandstand, it's no longer a train station. It's now American Band Station, now it's the Hard Rock Cafe. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna check out the inside of the building over here, it's the old headquarters. And there's the Reading Terminal Railroad clock. Look at that. It's broken, doesn't work. So changing the battery, so it's actually solar power. Doesn't work anymore. Broken, we don't feel like fixing it. In the middle of the street used to be a giant market building. That's why it's a much broader street than most of the streets around here. As I said before, if we're traveling west, we're going up the numbers. If we're traveling east, we're going down the numbers. We're now traveling up the numbers. And here is 13th Street. The next street should be 14th Street, but it's no longer the case. We have changed it to Broad Street. We broadened our 14th Street. We now go around our City Hall that you see directly in front of us. It used to be a park back in the Benjamin Franklin days. Here comes the Philadelphia Police. You notice a police vehicle here in Philadelphia actually sports the Swedish colors as well. The blue and yellow colors, as well as our license plates. You notice a Pennsylvania license plate has the Swedish color. Oh, the Macy's over here to the left is one of the oldest Macy's in America. I didn't say that a few weeks ago because it's no longer a Macy's, so it's no longer anything, so I don't have to talk about it. Gone. It closed down the other day. So. No longer historic, no longer relevant. Don't look at it. It's not right. Don't look at it. But the world's largest pipe organ in there, actually. But not anymore. I don't know. They're saying they're preserving it, so don't worry about that. In front of us, we got our City Hall. I'll take a link to the left now. That's taller than the pyramids of Giza. We did that on purpose, so you don't have to go to visit Egypt. You don't have to go to visit Egypt. And all the way up there, that clock that you see up there is wider than Big Ben by 5 meters. You no longer have to go to England, dude. Why go? You can stay here in Philadelphia. You don't have to leave America. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to leave Philadelphia. You have it here, right there. Bigger Ben, Big Benjamin Franklin, really. You know that guy on top? That's the Quaker oatmeal guy. All right, that's William Penn Jr. He's known as the Quaker oatmeal guy, although the estate doesn't want any parts of that without getting paid, so they don't say it's him, but it's him. It's him. Quaker Oats, Quaker guy. He's facing Quaker Town. That's how oatmeal was made. Over to the right, we got the Masonic Temple. It was built around the same time that this building to the left was built, but it was finished way earlier. So both of them were constructed around the 1870s. This one was finished, I believe, in 1871. I can be misinformed about that. This one was finished back in 1901, so the Eiffel Tower and the Washington Monument both beat it, being the world's largest human-made structure. But this was supposed to be the world's largest human-made structure after the pyramids, but we took too long to build it because there's over 300 sculptures on there. All sculpted by one guy, one of the family members of the Cedar family. So he wasted our time. He ruined it for everybody. Now these Union statues that are declaring war on the Masonic Temple. I don't know what his problem is with that. This guy over here, he's looking at the democracy statue. He kind of wondering why that's still around. He's like, I thought we got rid of that back in the Civil War. Nah, buddy, we just changed it a bit. We just did it a little bit different, you know? He's mad. Look how mad he is. He's really staring at it, too. So that's a statue of democracy being held up by all of our hands. No one's watching the polls. There's no eyes. So who knows? It's about to crash on top of us. That's my interpretation of it, at least. There's no other statues here because I don't think anybody knew what that statue represented, but everyone got offended by all the statues that were over here, so we knocked down all the statues. Back on in 2020. There was a giant dominoes. It looked like it was going to fall on you. It was pretty cool. I don't know who was offended by that. Like with a giant dance. We didn't know what that one was, so we got to keep it. William Penn on the top. We tried to paint the top of our steeple. I'm not sure when we did that. I don't know why we did that. It's a fully stone mason building. The Freemasons helped build it. So we didn't actually have to get aliens like the pyramids. The pyramids were built by aliens, did you know? This was built by Freemasons. They got the aliens for us, the Freemasons. So we're here to the right, we got the Love Park statue. Why is it so small, you might be wondering? That's because that's not the real Love Park statue. Just kidding, it is. It's that small. Your expectations have been shot. There's a line to go see it. Someone's got their skate park that's about to get taken away. You're not allowed to skate here anymore. It used to be a skate park. This is actually officially JFK Plaza, dedicated to JFK about a year after his assassination. Anyone getting off here at... Yes? All right, we got someone, I believe, downstairs. You're like, I heard you. Aha. So that's the portal. Over there to the right, the portal. What's the portal do? It's basically a giant web camera. It's not a real portal. It doesn't take you anywhere. It shows you other things. So it's a giant camera, web camera, and you can see other cities in, basically towards some other cities. Locals don't usually go to their own portal. If I was in like New York, I would go to their portal because I'm not from New York, but I would never go over here. Never get caught dead there. Maybe I'd be caught dead on there, but they turned it off for a while for the Super Bowl, so no one would get caught dead there because we had a whole freak out when the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl, if you didn't know. So we won the Super Bowl. What's going on? Back down in the back. There's 2 empty seats to get in the back. Yeah. We have the Uptown Beer Garden over here to the left. They do Christmas themes. They did Halloween theme, but it was just a circus. You can blame John Wayne Gacy for making clowns scary. Yeah. They weren't scary before. We had Ronald McDonald for a while. They had to get rid of him because of that. Remember the clown scare back in 2016? Ever since then, Ronald McDonald's gone. Got rid of him. The year Ronald McDonald died. They still talk about the Hamburger. It's okay to rob things, but clowns, that's the devil, you know? But over here in front of us, we got the Pennsylvania Railroad. Is that also on the Monopoly board? Yes, and that clock actually works if you know how to read it. For the younger folks on board, that is a clock emoji from your Snapchat application. Can you read that? Who knows? I don't care what time it is. It's time for Philadelphia. We're going on to the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. The Parkway was finished back in the 1929. There was a few exceptions. We had to add some things later on because the Great Depression ruined Benjamin Franklin's project. I think we're the reason here in Philadelphia we might have started the Great Depression with this project. It was already happened. There was already a deficit. We were building this nice project over here during the 1920s with illegal liquor money, probably. Which is fine. I mean, listen, we have a nice project now. I'm not the one who sold the hooch across state lines. That was Al Capone and the gang. Now they just built a nice highway, parkway for us. I don't see any problem with it. So there it is. The Parkway project's coming up. It's a huge project. We're going to be on it for about 30 minutes altogether. So it's a huge project. Hey, they got the right of way, you know, learn how to drive. Driving's a suggestion out here, there's no driving laws. So these flags were taken down, these are a census flag, but they were taken down a few weeks ago for the Eagles parade because we didn't need a bunch of Americans ripping down other people's flags for no reason out of excitement of the Super Bowl. People like to climb the poles. The mayor told us not to climb the poles. She's been turned into a meme. They were showing the footage of her saying that while people were climbing poles. She should have never said it. Just tell them to climb the poles, and they won't. It's called purposeful defiance. But over here to the right, we got the tallest Roman Catholic cathedral here in Pennsylvania. That's the Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul. Over there to the right, while it was being built, it was actively being demolished by small hate groups that didn't like the Roman Catholics at the time. They were smashing out the windows. You can see the frames of the windows were never finished. That stained glass window that's down there below there, right next to those other frameless windows, or framed without the windows. Without the windows, you can see them without the windows. That one was put in later on, so that doesn't count. Pretend that's not there. They had a rock throwing contest back when they were building this. Whoever threw the highest rock with the windows 10 feet higher all the way up there. In the front, you can see it's like redesigned like a fortress. So no one's getting in and out there. So we got the Prayer to Jesus Christ. But they're open public tours. You can go check out the building along with the Masonic Temple, the secret society of the Illuminati. That's where the Illuminati was built. But this right here, this is the Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul. It's not the tallest Roman Catholic cathedral in the world, but it's the tallest one here in my world, in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. The tallest one in the world is the Vatican, if you're wondering. It's not allowed to be taller than the Vatican, or you're breaking I guess, Roman Catholic law. So these are our census flags. All these flags except for the Vatican flag, actually. That one's its own flag. It's not part of the census. I'm sure there are people from the Vatican that are on it. No, they have their own city, so probably not. It's probably not anyone from the Vatican here. We have people from Italy here. That are, these are on our census, that is. Here in Philadelphia specifically, at least 30 people from those nations are on our Philadelphia census. I thought the Vatican flag was, but they take it down and they wash it on their own public road. They stopped number 8 for the Logan Circle. This area was being built during the Great Depression. These two twin buildings, part of the Parkway project, was built and finished back in 1927. That's the old courthouse and the free library. Now, the free library system was founded by Benjamin Franklin, but this building over here was built way after. But it was only right to have a free library here on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway because Benjamin Franklin came out with a free library system. It's all tax-free. There's no tax programs with our free library. It's all volunteer and all donation-based. We have over 50 free libraries throughout the city of Philadelphia because of it. So if our Department of Education ever fails us, Philadelphia won't be affected because Philadelphia's not affected by anything that happens in the world whatsoever. We're independent. We stayed that way. We still ride horses without licenses. We can do whatever we want out here. We have free education right here. Right. Just educate yourself, Benjamin Franklin said. He's like, he knew that free enterprise, he didn't believe in everything to be free, he believed in private things to keep the government out of things. And he believed, because in his time, a good education was an expensive education. And he thought the most expensive thing you can have is a dumb society, so he wanted to have a free library and change that. And that's why Philadelphia is top ranked in the most educated children of all time. And you don't have to look into it. You don't have to look it up. The statistics are made by non-Philadelphians. So, those are fake. Just take my word for it. We were very smart around here. We know how to read. Sure, a mayor doesn't know how to spell evil, but she did it on purpose to make you guys feel better about it. So, that's really what happened. And you don't have to fact check any of this. I already fact checked it for you. It's the beauty of America. You don't have to fact check this. Just say whatever you're allowed to do it. You're allowed to say whatever you want. I wouldn't survive in any other country, really. We got the Rodin Museum. Another reason I don't go to another country is you don't have to go to France either. Because we got this Rodin Museum coming up that was a gift from the Rodin estate. And it's designed exactly like the one in France. It has all originals. So it's a replica of the museum's layout, but the statues are all original. So you can see the thinker outside here in Philadelphia. So you can check off France off of your bucket list as well. So Egypt's chalked. England's been chalked to us for about 250 years now, but like I said, here in Philadelphia, we don't forgive. We don't forget. We can still consider them Great Britain. We didn't forget that. And we want to pretend they're the United Kingdom now. No. We know it's lurking in the shadows. But anyway, over here, stop number 9. That's a thinker over there. He's thinking about what? I don't know. But the gates of hell is right behind him. People like to take their wedding photos there during the summer. So take that for what it is. And it's open today. It's open today. On certain days it is free. I think Wednesdays it's pay what you wish. So you can go in there and pay with a fish. You're like, here's a fish. Can I go into your museum? They're like, you can keep the fish. Please throw it away. What's that?
The gates of hell.
Oh,
Whoa.
you might even see that in the museum around here somewhere.
Toby Gillis. No, I don't know if that show is filmed over here, but it could have been. We can pretend it was for now. Oh, and the thinker? It might be the original one on the show then, because this is designed like the where the original one is. So the Gates of Hell is actually part of the. So the thinker's part of the Gates of Hell exhibit. So if you saw this, they probably filmed that show in that part in France.
That's pretty cool.
But they didn't have to go to France. They could have came here to Philadelphia, much cheaper. We actually had designed our parkway as one of the parts of France. It's called 1907. So France considers us here in Philadelphia to be the world's largest open art gallery. You walk down the city, and you can't walk 1 square mile without seeing something pretty, unless you're walking in a circle in a parking lot that wasn't made by the 1% club. Over here to the left, we have the Parkway House. That was designed by the first female architect of the United States, Elizabeth Fleischer. It's the first luxury apartment built after World War II. During World War II, we were scrapping for resources. We were actually making pennies out of steel. So if you find any pennies that are magnetic from the 1940s, which are probably worth a lot more than pennies that were printed yesterday. So keep that in mind. Hold on to those. It's designed to get an even amount of sunlight through all sorts of, all sides of the building throughout the day. So right now, it's not getting hit on this side, it's getting hit on the other side. In the morning, even around 9 o'clock, it hits this side. Who cares? You don't need to grow any gardens because you got the world's, not the world's largest, my world's largest Whole Foods, the Philadelphia's largest Whole Foods, right next door. It's got a union too. We're not, like I said, we're not affected by things. So they ended up getting a union last month. The only reason I know that is my mom works at a smaller Whole Foods that doesn't have a union. So here we are. We're on the outskirts of Philadelphia during Edgar Allan Poe's day. This was the colonial border, the border of Philadelphia, not the colonial border. The colonial border is Vine Street. But this was our other border during Edgar Allan Poe's time. We built a penitentiary out here in the 1830s up in front of us. It was a place to repent because the city gallows used to be where Logan's Circle was. Don't grab the tree. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to hurt yourself. But in front of us, we got the penitentiary. Watch out for this wire that's coming across Wallace Street. Not this one, the one that's coming up. It's much lower. I'm about to duck and cover. But there's the Eastern State Penitentiary. Watch out for this wire coming up. Oh, bumblebee. Look at that. But the penitentiary was open as a place of repent. There's stop number 10 for the Eastern State Pen. Anyone for the Eastern State Pen? No? No? All right. So Eastern State Penitentiary was open as a place of repent by the Quakers. Again, the Quakers, place of repent. Because they didn't want you getting hung at the city gallows. They were against this death penalty. So they're like, hey, can we do a compromise? If they don't want to get hung, then they come here instead and get the demons out of them, and everyone's like, all right, we'll get the demons out of them, but they don't get the demons out of them, we're hanging them. And it actually worked. They convinced them they got the demons out of them, and that was their first prison rehabilitation program. It's funny, but that's the reason why you don't just get shot now. Like, you used to get shot over things, like stealing a chicken, get hung for playing with my food now. It's like, no, please, let me get the demons out of me, please. Don't hang me, don't shoot me. Don't cut my head off as they do in France. They actually stopped doing that back in the 70s. So around when this closed down back in 1970, they stopped chopping people's heads off in France. So. Well, this is stop number 10. I think we got some folks that are about to get on board. Let me make sure they're not for the flash bus. Are they getting on board? Let me make sure. Let me ask them if they're for the big bus. Welcome aboard for big bus, yes? Or if you're a city sightseeing, we both honor each other's tickets. Excuse me. Here, there you go. One of these. We have the red one with Benjamin Franklin on it. All right. I believe you for now. But you might be confused. There's a few seats if you want to go check it out. They might not be together, but they might be. Once everyone's seated, I'll let them drive their shortly now. All right, we're good to go. So they were going to knock down the building after they closed it down in the 70s, and they're going to knock it down in the 90s. But a Halloween fundraiser that still goes on to this day actually saved it from demolition and helped fund a museum that's there. In fact, I work at the penitentiary during the Halloween season as one of the scare actors jumping out. It's really fun. One of the funnest things. The rules are different than the rules on the bus. I'm working on the bus, and I'm working in there. Sometimes I tell them to watch their hands on the vehicle. They're like, what? Then I'm like telling people, don't touch the actors on the bus. They're like, what actors? I'm like, haha, the ones under the seat. But now, the first year I worked was 2019. They had a prison theme haunted house. So you go in there and be like prisoner zombies and like prisoner guards. They would call you prisoner, but I guess someone got offended by it because it wasn't active prison within all of our lifetime, like within the 70s. So people actually went there. So they changed the theme to something less offensive, but I was going into the audition like, I'm going to shank somebody. They're like, no, we can't do that no more. I'm like, oh, can I shave them? They're like, no, it's not that theme. I'm like, what's the theme? They're like, virus. I'm like, oh, all right, virus. So what are the attractions? They're like, quarantine, lockdown, infirmary. You see where this is going. So this is 2019, mind you. So it was my first year. I'm like, all right. So I'm coughing, pretending to cough, getting real close to people, telling them we're going to give them the virus. Telling them not to trust the doctors because the doctors have the virus in the vaccine. Yeah. Anyway, the next year we were not able to open for the 30th consecutive year because of COVID. So I was sitting there, I'm like, oh wow, that's irony right there. So we changed the whole theme. It's now Halloween nights. We got rid of the terror behind the walls. No longer prison theme, no longer virus theme. Watch out for this wire. Yeah, that one took out the guy who was training me. I had to start a week earlier. Died. I'm kidding. Yeah, see, Willie, I don't know if Willie's working today, but we saw Billy. He was the one that got hit by that. I was like, all right, I'm never gonna get hit by that. That's a Perlman building to the right, made back in 1926. Coming up to the left, we have Philadelphia Museum of Art. There it is. That's the north wing, but we call it the front because that was the first part of the building built first. Was Julian Abel, again, the guy who designed the Free Library and the courthouse. Kind of looks like Albert Einstein, black Albert Einstein, you can imagine that. If you look at a picture of them, you know exactly what I'm saying. They might be related, actually. They're alive around the same time. But over here to the right, this is the front because Julian Abel wanted to build the wings first because he was afraid of the Parkway project getting cut. He was right. The Great Depression was right around the corner. So they had this as the front for a while. I don't believe it was finished until 1929, so we actually got this one finished. But when we finished the front, it was the last part finished, so we called the back. So the front's the back, the side's the front. Makes no sense. If you want to buy tickets, you gotta go for the front, which is the side. Alright, so there's that. And the back is where Rocky ran up the stairs, which is actually the front by design, but we don't feel like moving the desk. They don't feel like moving the desk. It's really what's going on is they're lazy, really is what it is. There's where Rocky ran up, that's right. And they're renovating the steps, so time gonna be the same staircase. They're ruining the illusion. It's fine. They need to be renovated sometimes. If you wonder where that golden statue behind us was, that's Joan of Arc. That was another French gift. Like I said, France considers us to be the world's largest open art gallery. And there's one in France. I believe the original one's in France, in Paris. There's another one in New Orleans, which used to be part of France. They bought that from New Spain. They had that for about a year or 2 years, and they sold it to Thomas Jefferson during the Louisiana Purchase. So there's one in Louisiana and New Orleans, and there's one out here in Philadelphia because we're the home of the Revolution, and France is our oldest ally since before the Revolution, not during the French and Indian War. That was Britain's fault. They reclaimed our colony. Turned us against our allies, actually. That's why we pretty much revolted. So France helped us during the Revolution. We've been friends with France ever since. They want the Statue of Liberty back. One of them, I was saying, they want the Statue of Liberty back. But other than that, we're doing all right. We're still part of a nuclear alliance, so I think we're still friends, right? As far as friends go, right? We'll nuke another country for France, so I think we're friends. Over there to the left, we got the other side of the Parkway House. It's not too bright of a day, so you don't really see the sun hitting it, but you can kind of see the sun hitting it on the front right now. They will grow gardens on there during the summer. Really cool. I wish it was allowed to have vines growing off, but I guess you're not allowed to have vines going on there. Some sort of regulations, but hey, we're going to see Rocky's statue. Everyone remain safe for now. I know a few folks probably want to get off here. Is anyone getting off at stop number 12 for Rocky? All right. So once we get to the bus over there, so everyone remains safe for now. The real Rocky statue's down below. The fake one's up the top. It's not fake, it's still a statue. It's actually real, but it's made for the 50th year anniversary, so it's not from the Rocky movie. It's not from Rocky 3. The one that's from Rocky 3 is down below. That was given to us back in 2005 from Sylvester Stallone. The new one on top, it says it's from Sylvester Stallone as far as the plaque is concerned. So that one was given to us this year, about a month ago. So next year is the 50th anniversary of Rocky's franchise. It's also our 250th year as a country. We made it. George Washington would be proud. Well, he would be like, you didn't listen to anything I said, but I'm proud that it's still around. At least the facade of America is still around, is what he would say. He's like, well, this was predictable. I wrote it with Alexander Hamilton and James Madison. They predicted the future. So they'd be proud that they were right. They're like, yeah, we were right. So they're having the love run. That's where a lot of people run, is where Rocky ran. He didn't block off the streets. He did it illegally, actually. They didn't get any permits. They ran up the street with a bunch of people. He got a bunch of people, just unload them off and just started running up the street. Why pay for permits? It's good. Philadelphia, we had to pay for permits. It's 1976. Yeah, no, it's good. Run down the street. We would do that now. There's the Philadelphia flag. It used to be the Eagles flag. They conquered our city. So we gained our sovereignty yet again. We're back. And that's the American flag right next. And that's George Washington on that horse. Making sure no one comes in a taxi on his hand. But he's our first president under the Constitution. He came up with the idea of Thanksgiving as a holiday. He's the first one to come up with that idea as a thanks to the Constitution. We also had the first Thanksgiving Day parade over here in the early 1900s. So that's my best guess on why George Washington's over there. Or the fact is on the $1 bill. There's a lot of different reasons why George Washington would be there, but that's my best guess on the context of this area. So I don't know if that's a fact or not, but probably it's not the same George Washington statue from the Rocky movie. But if you want to see that one, that's in Washington Square Park. 6 of Chestnut. So follow me down the steps. The real Rocky statue from Rocky 3 is over there near the bottom. It's free to go see, so don't let anyone give in to otherwise. Don't let anyone scam you. Scammers. Don't forget your valuables. Don't forget your garbage. We have a trash can over here if you want to leave garbage behind. If you want to leave valuables behind, we have a tip box. Just over there driving. Thank you kindly. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's much cooler up there. It's the winds. Enjoy the rest of your day. You gotta run up those steps. You better run up those steps. Bus come every 25 minutes, folks. Just come back to this area and wave the bus down. Some buses will leave you behind. They don't care. We care here on this bus, particularly. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Watch your step. Yes. Same, but here, take this map too. You're good for both. If you're on the red bus, you read the red map. If you're on the maroon bus, read the maroon map. Slightly different colors, slightly different buses. We're trying to trick you here in Philadelphia, so you don't know which company to complain to. Yeah. So if something goes wrong, you don't know which company to complain to. It's actually brilliant. This is good for you. Yes, you're good to go. Yes, you have the brake on the stroller? All right, yes. Yes. No, that's fine there. I locked it, yes, it's good. As long as it's locked. We don't want it rolling around now. All right, you're good to go. See, they're having a love run here in Philadelphia. When are they doing that? Probably, I don't know. I heard about it today, so that's something you could look up on Google. There's Google out here. It's like the Free Library of the United States. Hello. 1 second. Well, hold on. We're adjusting our seats. All right, we're good to go now. So all the animals underneath George Washington are all native to North America. You can see the moose over there. There's a moose. There's a black bear. There's a buffalo on the other side. You catch the drift. That's Jimmy Young. That painting over there. In front of the Rocky statue. George Washington was not the first president of the United States as a country, but he was the first president of the United States under our current government. Before George Washington, during the American Revolution, we were a confederacy, and then we've changed since to a constitutional republic. We have democratic systems in play, but we're not a democracy per se. We learned that the hard way. But we do have democratic elections and whatnot. But we're bounded by the Constitution ultimately. So we had about 8 presidents under the Articles of Confederation. They were all like 1 year, 1-term president. There's Rocky to the right. So they had limited power. It was during a wartime, and then after that, we hot summer in 1787. Everyone was freaking out that we were changing it to the Constitution. I was like, wait, what? We're not a confederation anymore? We're like, calm down, we're going to do some things. Benjamin Franklin's like, fine, don't worry about it, we're going to do some things. We did some things, we got the Constitution, we've been using it to this day. Back in the 1860s, they wanted to bring back the Articles of Confederation, at least half the country did. We solved that through a bloody battle. About 600,000 people died in that battle, the Civil War. And then we regained those states and became Constitution. We have reconciled since, and now we are in the United States yet again. But they were trying to bring back the Articles of Confederation, which were pretty flimsy documents, and we don't do that, and they couldn't last. Watch out for these branches. And that's why the Constitution is much stronger. That's what Abraham Lincoln was trying to show. They were not allowed to secede from the United States just because Abraham Lincoln wanted to try to end slavery. Abraham Lincoln did not start a war just to end slavery. He started a war because they wanted to secede because he was against slavery. So they were like, we don't accept this president. We don't accept this election. We're going to secede from the United States. He was like, all right, war times. He made it easy for me. Now I can end slavery and hold the Constitution strong. It probably would have took 50 more years. So they made it easy for us. So I guess thank the Confederacy. It took 600,000 lives, but we ultimately did it faster than we probably would have otherwise. But it was going to end in a bloody battle. Thomas Jefferson was like, yeah, this is either going to end bad or end bad. See, we all knew that. The founding fathers knew that, so they were biding their time. Let the next generation figure it out, you know? Here we are now. There's a Maya statue over here to the right. She's considered to be degenerate art by the Nazis back in World War II. They put her in a warehouse. We took her out after World War II, put her in the Art Museum for a while, and now 2 years ago, we gave her own section. So you can go see Maya for free, because the Art Museum's not free. It's only free on the first, well, it's not only free on the first Sunday of every month, but it is free on the first Sunday of every month. There's some days, certain days that you pay if you wish. You pay with yourself to take snack benefits and get cheaper access to museums and getting snack benefits. Keep that. Museum is like $2 instead of like $15 you have a food snack or something. Keep that money. We want to keep you educated. We don't want to nickel and dime you out of your education. I mean, Philadelphia is very nice with our museums. Most of our museums take snack. You can't pay with the food snacks, but they'll be cheaper to have them in general. This is the Franklin Institute. There's about 25 bucks to go in there. All right, just give us 1 second. I'll let you know when we can stop. We're going to stop here at 17, so once we get to the bus stop, we'll let you off. It's coming up over here to the right is the Franklin Institute. They got the Body World exhibit. That's a yearly exhibit they do a new exhibit every year. So last year was the Lego exhibits. And then the year before that was the Disney expedition. I actually went to the Disney one. I did not go to the Lego one, but the Disney one was pretty cool. I would recommend it if you time travel. So you can time travel back in time. One, go there, check it out. Two, try to stop my girlfriend from ruining the event for me. Can't ruin the event. The event was ruined the moment that we left the house before using the bathroom. So we couldn't find a bathroom in the event. We had to leave the actual event to do it. So. Was it ruined? No, I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't get to see the last room, but what I did get to see was definitely well worth not seeing the last room, because they had Star Wars stuff too. So this stop number 17, we're going to pull up in front of these school buses, and we're going to let a few folks off here. The entrance is over here. There's a handy-capable, accessible area over there if you want to go in through that way. So you don't have to go up those big steps if you don't want to, as you can see right there. Keep that in mind. There's accessible. Benjamin Franklin will be proud because he couldn't walk later in his life. He had to be carried around. Couldn't figure out the wheelchair. He figured out the Bible. Did die. Follow me down the stairs, folks. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget your valuables. Don't forget your garbage. If you want to throw something away, there's a garbage can. If you want to leave some valuables behind, there's a tip box. Watch your step on the way out. There's a made out of Legos, this curb. So over to the left we have the Academy of Natural Sciences. Over here to the left, directly to the left, you'll see some dinosaur statues. Velociraptors. They apparently have feathers now. They're really in Jurassic Park. They should stop making Jurassic Park movies, or we gotta stop looking into dinosaur fossils. So one of those two things have to happen today. Over to the right, we have St. Clement's Church. We actually had it directly in front of us, but back in 1929, we decided, that's what I'm saying, we created the Great Depression. We're moving churches. We moved churches from Benjamin Franklin. We moved this church so we could finish this road right here, because what did St. Clement ever do for anybody? In fact, the reason he became a saint was because he couldn't do something for anyone. He got thrown off of the boat tied to an anchor because he couldn't stop a thunderstorm. So he was a priest, and they thought that was God at that time. Maybe it is. But he couldn't stop it, so he got thrown off. He survived, so he became a saint. Benjamin Franklin would have put a lightning rod on the top of the boat and prevented himself from getting thrown off to begin with. So he's a real saint, actually. So what Benjamin Franklin do for us? We got a free library exam. We had to move a church out of the way for Benjamin Franklin. Over to the right, we got the 30th Street Station. There's a train leaving the station. That's our modern main station here in Philadelphia. It takes precedence over the Reading Railroad and the suburban station, the Pennsylvania Railroad. It'll take you to Atlantic City. So you can go to Atlantic City from that station now, as well as New York and most cities. It's connected to all of the major railroads in the United States. And here's stop number 18 for the fake stock market building exchange. What we got? Fake stock market building. I know. We also got the Mudders Museum down that way. Got a few blocks that way, and then to the south on 22nd and Chestnut. Mudders Museum, no. We got Albert Einstein's brain in a jar in there. We got William Taft's throat tumor in there. Yeah, he's the biggest president. He was the fattest president of the United States. They had to change the White House bathtub. They had to make it bigger for him. Bill Clinton didn't mind the adjustment to the tub, though. Yeah, thought it was practical for him as well. So stop number 19 coming up over here. In case you missed stop number 18, it's a giant laundry list of bus stops over here. It's our main street over here. It's Market Street. We go off here? All right. We're going to let a few folks off here, so once we come to that bus stop, we'll let you off. And you're invited to join the Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, free Bible study. In fact, Bible studies have to be free. You have to free exercise religion. You're not allowed to charge people for it. You have to ask their donation. So, follow me down the steps, folks. Thanks for joining us. Watch your step on the way out. There's a garbage can. Don't forget your valuables. You need your valuables. You need your phone. Watch your step, folks. This is where a lot of our main buses come to. As you can see over here, there's about 11 buses that stop here, including ours. Coming up to the left, we have the former tallest building, not this one directly to the left, but coming up right now. Take a look to the left. It's reflecting our first skyscraper. And our first skyscraper is over here to the right. 61 stories tall. That's our Liberty Place. It may look like the Empire State Building because we had a friendly skyscraper feud in New York City at the time, back in the 80s. It was the first building taller than our City Hall. That's taller than the pyramids of Giza. Yeah, it is. That's right. And we didn't need aliens to build that. And as I said before, that clock up there is wider than Big Ben. Just another, and it's accurate too. It's on time. We used to be able to drive through these archways, but now we have to go around the Archway of Justice. Well, the Archway of Justice is on the other side. It's actually called the Archway of Justice. I'm not kidding. It says Justice on it, so what do you call it? Over here to the left is Dilworth Park. It used to be a skate park, part of the Love Park expansion of the skate park back in the 80s. I don't know when they got rid of that. They got rid of this area, the skate park, probably when I was younger, but then they redesigned the park when I was in high school. Here's Octavius Cat, to the left. You have to segregate the trolley system. It used to run on Market Street, now it runs below Market Street. So we got rid of segregation on the trolley system before the 20th century, so we were quick with that. Octavius Cat is one of our activists. He helped with our 15th Amendment of the Constitution, which means you can't disenfranchise people based on the race. Up, if someone's skating a skateboard, they're going to get taken away from them. So don't get caught by the authorities when you're skating around here. Just keep skating. Skate away. They can't take your skateboard if you're skating away. It's a $300 fine, so you may as well skate away. Don't pay that. Run. Over to the right, we have the Union League of Philadelphia that helped fund our Civil War. Abraham Lincoln did a few speeches in there, and I had my prom in there too, so that's pretty cool. That's a Union League flag. I believe that's the Pennsylvania flag right next to it. They're both blue. Over here to the right, we have the Bellevue. What's up with the Bellevue? That's where some of the 20th century presidents might have stayed. They're now renovating the building so you can get a residence where the presidents might have stayed. And they also have a sports club. If you want to go check out their sports club, you got to be a member of their sports club. And here is the Academy of Music. Stop number 20 is the oldest used opera house in the United States of America. And they got the gas lights still burning outside, and they still have plays in there. It was the former home of the Philadelphia Orchestra, but they've been evicted since. Coming up to the right, we got the current home of the Philadelphia Orchestra. This is where they've been removed to. And you can buy the Philadelphia Orchestra if you'd like for your own amusement, I guess. And here's the University of the Arts, one of our many art schools. This one actually shut down a few months ago. This poor guy, he's still waiting for them to open up. Nah, he's waiting for the bus over there. They don't have to give us benches for the bus stop, so you gotta sit there and everyone thinks you're homeless. Sometimes you might be homeless, but you're still waiting for the bus. What? Which one? The temple back there? Temple's, the big part of Temple is on the other side of our city hall. So there are different branches of Temple, like right over there. That's not the main one. The main campus is on the other side in north Philadelphia. So we're on the southern end of so directly on the other side, maybe like a mile away from City Hall is Temple. Yeah, UPenn is also in West Philadelphia too. So they have different branches all over the place. The UArts right here, they closed down, but they also have a branch over here. I'm not sure if that one's closed down. This one might be reopening too. This is one of our last independent colleges out here, so we're hoping we get that back open. Because all the other ones are big corporate ones. Trying to enfeeble the minds of the Philadelphia people, take away our rights of colleges, I guess. I don't know what they're trying to do. But people need to get their scholarship back if they reopen that, because a lot of people didn't get to graduate. So there's that. We're going down Pine Street about 2 blocks to the right, or 2 blocks south is South Street. That's our colonial border on the southern end of Philadelphia. Our northern border on the northern end was Vine Street. Schuylkill River was the west border, and yes, monogamy. Yes, monogamy is great. Is that what they're trying? I don't know what they're saying, but yes, I agree, I guess. If you want to be in a relationship, that's great. I don't know what that meant, but hey, I'm all for it, whatever you want to do. This is also the neighborhood. This is also the Antique Row. This is Antique Row as well. The first Pride protest happened over at Independence Hall. There's always people putting some art on that wall over there. No, they're basically allowed to do it. You're not really allowed to do it. No one really stops you from putting art on abandoned buildings. Over the left, little speakeasy. It's called Dirty Frank's now, but the password to get into the speakeasy was Dirty Frank. They had Frank Zappa on the other side. Got Frank Sinatra on this side. Saw Benjamin Franklin people on the other side. Got Frankie Valley. You get the project. A place called Dirty Frank's, and that's how you get into the speakeasy part of the antique shop or whatever was there before, wherever the front was. Doesn't matter what the front was. I'm trying to get formaldehyde, because that's what they were mixing it with back then. Formaldehyde. Here's the Antique Row. Those are the old antique shops. Coming up ahead, not these right here. Up ahead. There are some back there. What's that? So these buildings right here, you can probably rent them. Some of these buildings are so old that they need these stars. You see these stars? You have to bolt them. That's actually beams holding the bricks, so that person doesn't get hit in the head with a brick. Because they start to lean after a while. So if you notice the stars on the buildings, that means they're so old that the bricks are starting to lean. And if you see an oval plaque with the official Pennsylvania emblem on it, that means at least 80% of the building is historically original. That might be worth up to $10 million. So yeah, these are really expensive houses. They're one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Philadelphia. But here are the antique shops. You can live at one of the antique shops. One of them is for sale, one of them is for rent. How much? Too much. Too much. Probably way too much. Probably not worth it. This is a ticking time bomb. The older your building is, the more likely it's going to collapse. On 6. How do you get off at 6? 22. It's coming up. I'll let you know. Yes. So number 21 is coming up first. If you want to get off at 21, that's coming up next. That's past the antique shops, the old antique shops. They're no longer antique shops, but they're still the store fronts. So take a look over here to the right, you'll see some old antique storefronts, especially coming up right now. That's what we call Antique Row. Is stop number 21. Is also the closest stop to the Walnut Street Theater, the oldest used theater here in the United States. Back in 1809 they opened up, and they survived the Spanish flu and COVID. They didn't have to close down for that. Stop number 21. Nope, all that. Coming up, we got the free hospital system of Philadelphia, drawn by Benjamin Franklin. We got some folks going up the steps. Welcome back, welcome back. So they have the karaoke bus over there, so you can sing karaoke. Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama. Lord, I'm coming home to you. See, that's why this isn't a karaoke bus, because then you can spy on people. It's on the bus. Working hard, working from home now, a lot of people these days. That's fine, it's all digital now, even labor. Even labor's digital. Beautiful world we're living in. They invented emotional labor now is a new thing. I wish that's how it worked, like just move a few boxes. Move a few emotional boxes and we're good. That doesn't really work like that, but I like the encouragement. Over here to the left, we got Penn Medicine. Is the free hospital system I was talking about. Benjamin Franklin opened up this hospital for only $2,000 back in 1751. That's the equivalent of $99,000 today. That's not a lot of money considering the opening of a hospital. But we did not keep this one independent. Behind this Penn Medicine, it's a private hospital. It is responsible for some of the best medicine in the world. In fact, America is ranked for the best medicine in the world. Before that, it was a surgical hospital right here. It was free. You would have to pay tickets to go see the surgery, and the people that were going to see the surgery were usually students. Now students come out here and learn from many of the campuses, so they get to use this area as what it was pretty much initially intended for, education. So this area is still used for education inside the building. I'm not sure it is what it is used for. It's no longer used for surgeries. The surgeries they had back then were not the best, but it was the best they had. It was the best they had. Now we all consider healthcare to be a right. That's how privileged we are with that. Benjamin Franklin, he came here and was like, healthcare is a right. He'd be like, what are you talking about? You have the right to get bloodletted? You're sick. It's like, you're crying over health insurance? You have a pill that cures tuberculosis that you can buy off the counter. What do you mean? We were just eating opium back then. So Benjamin Franklin would be proud with the medicine that we have now. He would think we were spoiled with the way we go about it. That's just the way it was. That's over here, it's such a good neighborhood, such an expensive neighborhood. You get gas lights burning during the day. I turn my car off at certain red lights, you know? So that's how you know it's a good neighborhood. It's the best. You can leave your wallet on the street, put 20 bucks in it, you'll find it later on with $50 in there. No, I'm exaggerating, but still. Somebody will probably look for it, try to find you. Here's stop number 22. I know we got a few folks that are getting off here. We're gonna let a few folks off here. Anyone else that's getting off here, follow me down the steps. Thanks for joining us at Philadelphia Sightseeing Tours. I've been Joe, your tour guide. Our driver's been Shirley. Don't forget your valuables, don't forget your valuables, don't forget your valuables, your phones, your wallets, your keys, your kids. We also have a trash can. If you need to throw anything away, so leave garbage in there. If you want to throw some tips in the tip box, we don't mind that as well. Watch your step, watch your step, watch your step. How's that, everybody? All right. There's Mother Bethel's Methodist Church over here to the right. First Methodist Church of the United States. It's founded by ex-slaves, as well as the 6th and South Fire Station, also founded by ex-slaves. Pennsylvania was the first free state of the United States, but that doesn't mean slavery was ended all over the United States. So ex-slaves would come to Pennsylvania because it wouldn't be wise to hang around in a slave state after just getting free. So they would come here, they would develop that whole area pretty much. And Mother Bethel's Methodist Church was one of the last stops of the Underground Railroad before we go to Canada, so there's some Civil War history as well. So a shot tower in Queens Village that we built for the Civil War. It's now a playground and the polling place where you go vote. The place where we were fighting against democracy at the time. That's funny irony there. Over here to the right, we have a bunch of veterans of the original sort. That's the original veterans of the Revolution in Old Pine Street Church Cemetery back there. Over here to the right, a different cemetery. There's St. Peter's Church Cemetery over here to the right. Not as many American flags. A lot of these folks were the British loyalists who fought against the original veterans. These are the original enemies of the United States. Some of that guy over here in the corner is on the American flag. He can stay. He's fine. He's good. But they all stay, really. There's a cool representation on two fighting forces, two split, divided people, buried across from one another. Divided by 4th Street, 4th of July. Was that a coincidence? Yes. It's a coincidence. Over here to the left is another one of our boys, Felix Cousteau's house. He's one of our revolutionary generals. Who was our main general? That was George Washington. One of our generals, he was from home. He went back to Poland to try to start his own revolution, but they kicked him out. And he joined us and stayed here for the rest of his life here in Philadelphia. So we got him. He's ours. Now, over here to the left, we have the thinnest building in Philadelphia. The last building to the left. About 8 feet wide on the inside, about as wide as this bus. You can feel a king-size bed in there. Not a Californian. Not a Californian king. They're a little bit wider. This is stop number 23. This is the new market. This is what Head House Square. This is Head House Square. Head House Square. Head House Square. I'll have to use that for the Halloween tours. But here's Head House Square. There's fake trolley tracks. These were never really trolley tracks. That's just all replica over there. What Market Street used to look like. Watch out for the branch coming up to the left. There's log over here. You can see there's damage on that from the heads of victims that were on my bus last time. We don't stop the tour. We just keep going. We just put you in the back storage, really. We call the police. We tell them they did it to themselves, man. They don't take it anymore. They hit themselves in the head with that branch. But no one's ever actually got hit by that branch. Be careful about that. So, I don't know. That'll be a first. We're on Front Street now. That's why the streets end, because this used to be the riverfront. It's no longer the riverfront. We pushed the river back. We drained it out, dammed it up, and made a highway. It's no one else's business but our own. We're allowed to do that. So we did it. We still have the river. Don't worry. It's still around. We still have the river. You can still take your loved ones down to the river and leave them there. Still do it. My grandfather said, you go by the river, take them with you. But here we are at stop number 24 for the Philadelphia Vietnam Veterans Memorial. They actually had a bunch of people out here with a bunch of trailers. Friends of those folks. You can see they just put flowers up there. There's the Irish and Scottish Famine Memorials behind us to the left. You can see the flowers on the Irish one that was put there on St. Patrick's Day. By who? I don't know. They just do it. But you can see there's a lot of flowers today over here at the Philadelphia Vietnam Veterans Memorial. They just had a little service over here. And these bricks that we're driving on right now are not cobblestones. These are called Belgian bricks. These were designed to weigh down empty wooden hollow ships that are coming in without cargo. So you're a giant empty hollow wooden boat. They would just kind of topside. So you need to weigh it down, make it buoyant. So they would weigh it down with thousands of these bricks. We no longer do that, so we repurpose these into roads. How many cigarette butts that are on the side over here? Wow. Probably from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Yeah, it's stressful. War's stressful, you know? You know? We'll clean that up later. Don't worry about those. We have a railroad sign. There's a newer railroad sign. It's probably made that railroad sign back when we still didn't use the railroad. So that railroad has been used. Or is it? We don't know. Half the people think the railroad doesn't work and it's no longer being used. And back in South Philadelphia, it's obviously not being used over there because there's branches and trees in the way. But over here, is it still used? We have new signs. I believe there's ghosts haunting Philadelphia, the train tracks over here. Because this is either historic or not. It's really hard to tell. But I'm going to say the train tracks are haunted. Sometimes you hear trains, but you never see them. And you hear them. It's like, I thought I heard a train earlier. They're like, they're hearing things. No, I'm hearing trains, specifically. There's a Columbus statue. Back in 1992, we built that for a 500-year anniversary of Columbus's voyage to... Well, he went to Columbia, actually. It was never actually around here. But the Italian immigrants, they were learning English. That's what happens when you force people to learn English, is you end up worshiping Columbus by accident. So here's what happened. Basically, back in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, when the Italian immigrants were coming in, there's been a huge controversy with Columbus ever since Columbus Day has been a thing. It's never not been a controversy. But the Italian immigrants were learning English. They read the Washington Irving version, because it was the only English version of Columbus at the time. And it left out a lot of the questionable things, and it also added some things. And they wanted to have a holiday. They took him as inspiration because they were being ridiculed for coming into the country as Italians. And he was an Italian hero. According to that book, if you read that version of the book and you take all the context away from Columbus, there was no internet back then. Stop number 25? Yes, we'll let you off over here. Stop number 25. So yes, but there's a Columbus statue. We made him a holiday, I believe, back in the early 1900s. And it's been a controversy ever since. But that's the history behind it. My great-grandfather snuck into this country in a steam pipe. So he was very fond of Columbus. So that's one of the reasons why I know about a lot of this. Yes, there's restaurants on Penn's Landing, yes. So there's restaurants, you just walk that way, and then walk down to the bridge. Near the bridge, there's some good restaurants, and that's where Race Street is. And then you can walk back to Old City from there. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you. So yeah, Columbus has been a controversy ever since. We actually changed the name to Columbus Boulevard over here. It used to be Delaware Avenue. People got offended because they thought it was an insult to the Delaware people, but Columbus never met the Delaware people. That was Andrew Jackson who did that, like on the $20 bill. But no one knows their history, so they all got offended by that, I guess. And it's still Delaware Avenue in South Philadelphia. But my biggest issue is that it turns into an avenue and to a boulevard. So what is the difference between an avenue and a boulevard at this point? That's my controversy. You want to call it an avenue and a boulevard, it just turns into one? No, it's just a street. That's how you know it's, so that's my controversy with it. That's what I care more about than Columbus. That happened 500 years ago. He actually got arrested for the things that he did, so I guess justice was served, right? I don't know. If you're getting arrested in the 1500s, you must have did something wrong. So, that wasn't mentioned in the book, though, so the Italians took him as a hero. And he was also said to be Italian. He was actually Spanish. That's why a lot of people in where Colombia didn't speak Spanish, named after him over there. America was named by Americano Vespucci, different Italian explorer. So right now we're on an old dock, an old creek, that is. This was made into a street back in 1820. But before that, it was our major docking creek. And you would have side docks over here instead of sidewalks. That wasn't the Marriott, that was the Marriott. Because pirates like Blackbeard would hang around here. Pillage and scavenge and steal and hunt, drink up me hearties, yo-ho. You know the song, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me, you know, Disney. We founded the Marines over there behind us, but the tavern's no longer there. The creek's no longer here, the docks are no longer here, so the tavern where the Marines were founded, it's obviously no longer here. But we do plan on building a replica of that. That's Francis Tavern back in 1775, I believe in November 17th. I could be wrong about the exact date when the Marines were founded. People having their weddings over at the Spice Exchange. You would take the boat all the way up here to the Spice Exchange. There's a lighthouse up there. Alexander Hamilton lived in the building that was here before the Nelson building. He's a guy on the $10 bill. He's the first Secretary of Treasury of the United States, but he said that tip for him, by the way. But he's also an original veteran. He fought in the American Revolution. A lot of people don't know that. He helped George Washington clear some things up with the farewell address. So George Washington wasn't much of a writer. They wanted him to be the king because he was, a lot of people at the time was for slavery. He was very much for slavery as a personal person. But he fought for liberty and justice, and he did not want to go down as the king of slavery of America. So he was like, listen, I'm going to not be the president anymore. Pick somebody else. Stop worshiping me. Pick somebody else, because I didn't send my boys out here to die for slavery. I sent my boys out here to die for liberty. Don't use my personal opinions as the personification of liberty. That's what he was trying to say. He didn't want you to look up to George. George Washington never wanted you to look up to him as the personification of liberty. He owned individuals, so it wouldn't make sense. He always said, don't look at me for liberty, look at what you believe is liberty. So he always said that. That's what he said in the farewell address, pretty much. And that's the bicentennial bell. That's our 200th anniversary bell. Next year for our 250th anniversary, we'll be polishing it off. Queen Elizabeth II of England, the one that just passed a few years back, gave us that back in 1976. And this is stop number 26. It's not shown, but it's here. If you want to get off here, let me know now. Yes, we got a few folks getting off here. All right, this is stop number 26 for the American Revolution Museum. If you want to stay on, I mean, the stop number 1 is right over there.
No, we're good.
All right, get off here. All right. No, you follow me down the steps, folks. Yeah, it's not posted on the sign. Sometimes I forget it because they didn't put the sign up yet. But luckily, I have the map memorized. Watch your step, folks. If you want to go back to stop number 1, because a lot of people do not know about this stop, so you'll have to wave them down for this stop if you want to get back on the bus. But if you want to get back on the bus, it's all the way on stop number 1's a few blocks to the right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. All right, we're good to go. All right. It's where my friend's Mexican restaurant is. My friend's family owns it right now, so you're right. He used to be on 2nd and South. They moved over here to 3rd and Market. Moving on up. Actually, it's pretty much the same kind of area. Both very popular. But hey, it's near Benjamin Franklin's old property, so that's pretty cool. You're about to see Benjamin Franklin's old property, so that's pretty cool. Oh, the kid's got a Mario backpack over there. How about that? It's a me. The guy who plays Mario actually just retired the Mario role. It's very upsetting. Charles Martinet. Now it's Chris Pratt. And this new guy. That's a video game. Mario's got a more high-pitched voice now. You can tell the difference. You can tell. They made him like Mickey Mouse. Oh! It's coming up to the left. We have Benjamin Franklin's old property. It is not his original property. Well, the building is not the original building. The property's the original property, obviously. But the building was demolished after his son sold the property. But we rebuilt it, and we put a post office in there because he's our first postmaster general. We put a printing office and bindery because he was a Boston newspaper writer. And there's a museum because the guy was an educator, genius, and a philosopher, philanthropy, and all that. All sorts of... You can't name on one page all the things he did. He was the Barbie of the Founding Fathers.